you, President. It's all about surrounding yourself with the best people, and I am very fastly picking the most epic cabinet of all time.
To that end, AAC just rolled out a new line of AK-47 ammo.
What it do with the business is, people? It's your boy That Way with Jack Travis to be precise, man. Now you know how we do, you know how we doing it back in the thing again, you understand me, man? Back in the building again for another one of these episodes. You dig what I'm saying? I told you I was gonna wrap this thing up about the whole Donald Trump deal here in a minute, man. So this is my episode, you dig what I'm saying, concerning these here cabinet appointments. Or as I would like to put them, casting from Central Casting. It's like Donald Trump is picking people for White House the movie or something, bro. Like, this is crazy, some of the names that he's proposing to take over these major departments in our United States government. Now, I'll be the first to go along with you on the thoughts of, on the statements of, saying that there are a lot of things that in government that need to be cleaned up. Now, I don't purport to be an expert on governmental matters. You dig what I'm saying? I'm just a normal citizen out here. So I don't know the ins and outs of how bills are passed and how certain things affect certain demographics, this, that, and the third. I know what I see and I know what I hear, but I hadn't went into the books and read all these things. So I don't know exactly what the solution is. But what I suspect I do know is that the people that Donald Trump are appointing to these positions are not the ones to do it. You dig what I'm saying?
How many of Trump's cabinet picks have been accused of sex crimes? Up first, we have Matt Gaetz, who Trump appointed to Attorney General. Matt allegedly paid to have sex with a minor, who he was allegedly introduced to by his friend Joel Greenberg, who has since pled guilty for trafficking. Up next, we have Pete Hegseth, who Trump appointed to be Secretary of Defense. Allegedly, Pete essayed a woman in 2017 after a Republican women's event. He then paid this woman for a confidential agreement because he was worried that she would sue him and that would cause him to lose his job. Bonus points to Pete because he's also an adulterer who cheated on his wife. Up next, we have RFK Jr., who Trump elected to be the head of public health. Eliza Cooney accused RFK Jr. of groping her and making unwanted sexual advances on her when she was the family babysitter in the late 1990s. When asked about this on a podcast, RFK said he's not a church boy and he has skeletons in his closet. When asked if any other SA allegations will come out against him, he said, "We'll see what happens." Very reassuring. Bonus points to RFK Jr., who was also an adulterer who cheated on his wife. Last but not least, we have Elon Musk, who Trump appointed to be the head of the Department of Government Efficiency, along with Vivek Ramaswamy, two people to do the job of one. How efficient. Elon Musk is being sued by 8 former SpaceX employees who claim they were fired for speaking out against Elon's hostile work environment. Allegedly, Elon Musk makes lewd sexual comments in the workplace. Allegedly, Elon Musk has had several sexual relationships with women employees at SpaceX. SpaceX, Elon's company, paid a flight attendant $250,000 after she accused Elon of exposing himself to her and offering to buy her a horse in exchange for a sexual massage. Bonus points for Elon, who's also an adulterer. None of this should surprise anyone, considering Trump himself has been convicted of SA, has 28 SA allegations against him, has bragged about SAing women and walking into the dressing rooms of Miss USA while they were changing. Trump is also an adulterer who has cheated on his wife. You are the company you keep. So much for the party of family values, the moral majority, the party of law and order. More like the party of rules for thee, not for me.
Like, I don't know many politicians, I don't know many administrations that just, went into the White House, kept their nose clean, and just did what it took for the American people to grow and prosper, man. You know what I'm saying? I think it's all a money grab. Everybody enriched their pockets. Everybody steals from work. So, we've got a list of characters, man. You dig what I'm saying? We're going to stick to some notable ones here. I.e. Matt Gaetz, a Kash Patel, a Pete Hegseth, a Linda McMahon, a Doge. That's now 2 people. And we'll also speak on the notable absence of a Tim Scott and a Byron Donald, right? Who knew? Who knew that they were going to be left out of this picture right here? Who knew? That's neither here nor there, or at least it's not until the end of the episode, because that's about all they deserve, like the end piece. You know what I'm saying? Let them tap dancers on out. You dig what I'm saying? So let's start with Matt Gaetz, man. Matt Gaetz
I'm so excited. I mean, everyone thinks you're crazy. I don't think you're crazy. People think you're a pedophile. I don't think you're a pedophile at all. I don't think he's a pedophile at all. The charges against him are totally false. They're totally false. Oh my God.
And I'll give you the truth why I'm not speaker. It's because one person, a member of Congress, wanted me to stop an ethics complaint because he slept with a 17-year-old. An ethics complaint that started before I ever became speaker, and that's illegal, and I'm not going to get in the middle.
As you can see, Mr. Matt Gaetz has quite a checkered history out here in the world. He looks like he's has no problem with having to re-up his bump level on the Senate floor. Did y'all see that? And he looked around. Now, I don't know. I'm not saying what all I've done in my past, but I can say I do know what some things look like. Did y'all see Matt Gaetz, bro? Matt Gaetz took him one on the Senate floor as the cameras was rolling. He looked around to see who seen him. Same with Dunn Jr. These boys, wow, you got to be really on that thing to be, you dig what I'm saying? To have to do it in public, bro. You can't wait till you get somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You can't go duck to the bathroom right quick. Man, you got to be on that thing heavy. But Mr. Matt Gaetz, man, outside of that little video we saw, we also saw video footage of the crimes he's alleged to have committed with underage females. Payments to him. Now, I know a lot of that gets to floating around these days with high-profile individuals. Seemingly, it's a way to take them down. But when you look at the MAGA movement and the people involved in it, there are countless individuals that have been deemed for improprieties with underage females and things like that. I mean, you know, Trump was on the picture with Epstein. Who knows what that was all about? Now, Matt Gaetz was under investigation about that incident, and apparently they put the kibosh on it once Trump nominated him for this position. Well, that boded well for Mr. Gaetz, but here recently there's been developments, and Matt Gaetz has been replaced by a bleach blonde Bundy. Now, Miss Bundy also has some baggage. It's reported that she was over the case down in Florida when Trump was being sued over the Trump University, the fake university where you could go and learn to be like Trump and this, that, and the third, and pretty much just scammed every student out of their money. So the story goes that she was paid $25,000 from the Donald Trump campaign camp, and she promptly dropped the lawsuit. You dig what I'm saying? Now, I've got to say, man, if you remember back to Trump's first term in the White House, every person that he hired, damn near every single person he hired from lawyers on down, ended up being corrupt individuals that went to prison, that eventually turned on Donald Trump. And I think the same thing is going to happen this go around. You know, the goose does not go far away from the gander. And you know, there's a saying that there's no honor amongst thieves. You dig what I'm saying? So it's inevitable that a shyster is going to be a shyster. And another shyster is not going to be appreciative of being shysted. And herein lies the problem. This when the clash comes and you get out in the public fights, the feuds. Now, I wish the MAGA side of things will have a convenient excuse for, you know, why this certain person, you know, they want to call people right. Anyone that doesn't vote with MAGA is an old school Republican and of the old guard and old fashioned. They've got an excuse for it all. But at the end of the day, I'm sure, as you can see, there are plenty of people excusing this behavior. I don't know in any other form or walk of life where the individuals that we see these days and the things that they're alleged to have done, I don't know of any of these people that the people you see defending them would allow these people to be around their sons and daughters. That's like the ultimate test. Would you let this person babysit your kids? Would you let this person go and stay? Would you let your child go and, well, I don't guess I'm letting my child go and stay at nobody's house outside of the immediate fam. But it's like, that's kind of like a gauge, a litmus test. Would you let your son or daughter, date these individuals, deal with these individuals, be in the care of these individuals?
So I posted this on the other platforms and it did mighty well, and actually the MAGA are attacking me, which means I hit a nerve, which means I'm on the right track. After looking at the data, if only non-college educated white voters voted, this is what the electoral map would look like. Donald Trump would have had 458 electoral votes to Kamala Harris only having 80. By all means, that is a landslide if only non-college educated white votes voted. Funny enough, this is what the electoral map looks like if everyone except non-college educated whites voted. Kamala Harris would have had 513 electoral votes to Donald Trump only having 25. That's why Donald Trump really wants to close the Department of Education, because the Department of Education only provides 10% of its funding to K-12 schools. Yes, it also enforces civil rights laws, but here's the big one. It runs the $1.6 trillion student loan program. So no, it's not about the 10% that goes to K-12 funding, and it's not really about the civil rights laws. It's about the $1.6 trillion that goes to the student loan disbursement program, which allows everyone the access to get a college education. Because they want the map to look like this. They're scared if the map looks like this.
And if you wouldn't, then why would you also want these people in charge of government? Things that trickles down to every American. And I think they're in the FAFO phase of all of this, man, because you see a lot of people trying to defend these appointments, but at the same time, you see an even larger number of more, I would say, more important individuals speaking on the dangers of the people he's putting in position, because again, it looks like Trump is just picking like a cast of characters for White House the movie. It's like Apprentice #2, reality TV, as I spoke in one of my last videos, is really what America is, and that's what this presidency so far is shaping up to be. Now, he doesn't get sworn in until, January 20th, but the people that he's lining up right now, man, are just like, what is he doing, bro? So, we've also got a guy named Pete Hegseth.
Yo, Independence Day is almost here. We're getting ready in the Hegseth household. We celebrate America, Old Glory, and the freedoms our forefathers fought to establish. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, the right to bear arms, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You know the thing, as Joe likes to say. We also know we're one nation under God. There are a lot of folks trying to divide us right now, but we know who we are. We love God, our families, and our republic. Your support of veteran-owned, American-made, anti-woke companies like Palmetto State Armory, Caliber Coffee, Right to Bear Self-Defense, and AAC Ammunition keeps us strong at home. We vote with our feet and our dollars to stay free. To that end, AAC just rolled out a new line of AK-47 ammo. That's right, because Russian ammo is now banned. So now you can buy American-made 7.62. That's what I'm talking about. Check the text below for more info.
Now, from what I understand, Pete Hegseth, he served in the military. I guess he got a couple Bronze Stars or something like this, that, and the third. But outside of that and being a salesman for American-made 7.62 bullets, I don't see what experience he has to be in this position. Secretary of Defense. I guess because he was in the military and he promotes bullets, that's good enough to be in charge of guns and ammo and all of that, right? If you're thinking like, where have I seen this guy before? That's where you've seen him. Yeah, Pete Hegseth, prior to being nominated for this position, was just like a weekend host on Fox and Friends. Not even a through the week guy. You know what I'm saying? Not even a main guy. He a weekend talent, weekend warrior. Donald Trump thought that he was the most fit guy to be nominated for this position. And I'll say again, birds of a feather flock together. I have no doubt in my mind that down the road, you're going to hear some rumblings in the junglings. You dig what I'm saying? You can't expect people that are untrustworthy to do untrustworthy slime ball shit. Like, in what world does that ever happen? You FO and you FA and you FO. So we're gonna see how this thing plays out, because we've got plenty more. Let's mention Mr. Cash Patel.
Chris Wray, the director of the FBI, and Rod Rosenstein were tasked with helping us at Congress, where I ran the Russiagate investigation, to expose Russiagate. We went to them and said, look, you guys didn't do this. Help us expose it. You know what they did? They launched an investigation against me. They used grand jury subpoenas to get my personal information, my banking information, my emails, my cell phone information, everything else. I didn't find out till 5 years later when Google called me and said, hey, our 5-year notification has lapsed. We can now tell you the DOJ surveilled you. And we had to turn over documents. We exploded that into a federal lawsuit that's still ongoing in the DOJ and FBI.
What? So Google informed you that you're being surveilled 5 years after the investigation started. What more did they tell you?
They're not allowed to say anything. As a former national security prosecutor, I know you don't just go to Google. You go to every provider. You go to all the telecoms. You go to the bank. You go to everybody. But these two guys who were running the FBI and DOJ sat in a room with the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee and lied to our faces. They threatened to investigate us. They actually did it.
And apparently he's one of these guys that's on, his big time MAGA. Swear to God, they want a witch hunt to get him. He's suing Christopher Wray, which was the head of the FBI at the time, and blah, 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 blah. You know the normal talking points and pivots that they do, man. They're all victims. They know more than anybody of what's really going on in deep state. It's just QAnon quackery, man. But this is the guy that he's tapping in to head up the FBI, right? The FBI. Now, you know how odd it is that when they don't agree with the person that the FBI is investigating, then they want to fucking abolish the entire FBI. You do know that the FBI are also the guys that hunt down terrorists. They hunt down cartels and big drug shipments and missing children. And, they are the guys that track down, like, say, for instance, the killers of Lake and Riley. When they get all up in arms. And rest in peace to the beautiful young lady, nursing student down there in the UGA that was killed by the illegal immigrant. They just sentenced him like this past week. I have no smoke for Lake and Riley at all. I do, however, have smoke for the people that just because they investigate a dirtball piece of shit that they happen to like, you want to abolish the entity, the organization that does all of these other things, so you don't care about stopping drugs coming to the country? You don't care about criminals being brought to justice? Like, there's a lot of things that you're going to take away by abolishing the FBI or fracturing it into 1,000 pieces. You fracture into 1,000 pieces, then that's 1,000 people you got to have over. Like, none of the arguments make sense. They're just kind of shaped and molded in a way that's going to uphold, their ultimate way of life. Everything else be damned. That's pretty much the bottom part of this thing. Now, I'd like you to take note of Mr. Kash Patel and just his demographic that he represents, because that'll be relevant later on in the episode. Let's move along to more fun things. Who knows this woman right here? That is Linda McMahon. Yes, wife of Vince McMahon of WWE wrestling fame, right? She has been tapped to be the Secretary of Education. Because, of course, when you want to abolish the Department of Education, what better way to do it than to put Linda McMahon in charge of it? Piece of baggage that Miss McMahon carries is apparently she's being investigated for allowing one of her prior workers, prior employees, Melvin Phillips, what have you. Apparently, they allowed for him to pretty much have a pipeline of underage boys to do what he will with. You dig what I'm saying? So Ring Boys are suing. They've brought suit against Miss McMahon, her husband, the whole little wrestling enterprise over there. That's currently going on right now. And this is the woman that was just tapped to be the Secretary of Education by Donald Trump as a part of his cast from Central Casting for White House the movie. I will continue to repeat this thing. You dig what I'm saying? Linda McMahon, do not forget it. Now, I don't know how many of all of these people have been confirmed, but even if they don't, like Gates had a lot of heat when he came out. So he stepped on to the side. None of these have been confirmed. These are who he's appointing to be confirmed. But even if they come out and say, no, we don't like this, we don't like that one, you can rest assured the number 2 person that Donald Trump has in mind is no better, right? Moving on down the line, let's go into talking about these two individuals that probably couldn't be any lamer. They couldn't be any lamer by themselves. You put them together. Yeah. Elon Musk, bro, I got to tell you, Elon Musk is one of the cringe-worthiest individuals I think I've ever seen. He moves awkward. He talks awkward. He looks awkward. He's just an awkward guy. I don't think he's equipped to handle the rigors of American government. First of all, I don't think this guy from South Africa, tech billionaire, is equipped to handle the rigors of American government. In fact, so much so, Donald Trump put him and Vivek Ramaswamy together as a team for this new entity called the Department of Government Efficiency. So basically now they're tasked with, I guess, going around and monitoring every department and seeing where they can save money, where they're spending money, what they're spending it on, how many offices to have, maybe how many employees to have, how many breaks should we take, how many off days they should get. All of this type of shit, as if because they're businessmen and do big business out here, then okay, if they can manage a pharmaceutical company or a car company, then obviously they can handle different departments of government and how many employees and how efficient those individual departments are, although they don't know anything about these individual businesses and entities. But again, let Donald Trump tell it, these are the best we have to offer. We're putting them out there. Such a clown show, bro. Like, I am so interested to look up a year from now and just see what's the excuses for things not changing. You dig what I'm saying? But we'll have to wait and see in time. You already see some coping mechanisms and some pivoting as we're used to from dealing with people on that side of the political spectrum. You dig what I'm saying? Now, I will say there are some noticeable absences in this picture. Most notably, Tim Scott.
You must really hate her. No, it's a shame. It's a shame. Uh-oh.
I just love you.
No, that's why he's a great politician.
And of course, Mr. Byron Donalds.
I want y'all to watch this with me.
Al Sharpton criticizing President-elect Donald Trump for not nominating an African-American member for any cabinet position, I should say, yet. There are some spots to fill. Now, to be clear, he has picked some diverse candidates to be part of his overall team and also in his cabinet. But again, as of now, there's yet to be a Black American picked for a cabinet-level slot. Joining me now, one of Trump's top allies on the Hill, Republican Congressman Byron Donalds of Florida. Congressman, you have been a very vocal and effective surrogate for Trump and for his campaign and, frankly, the Republican Party. What is your response to this criticism?
I think it's criticism where people are upset that they still lost this election. And so if you were going to ask Reverend Al or anybody else in the Democrat Party, they're still licking their wounds about the fact that this did not work out the way that they thought it was going to. That being said, Donald Trump's cabinet is about people who are going to implement his agenda. And he's not done, by the way. You have Susie Wiles, the first woman ever to serve as chief of staff. You have Marco Rubio, a Cuban American who's going to serve as Secretary of State, representing America across the globe when it comes to foreign policy. You have Tulsi Gabbard going to be at DNI. So many others that are coming, and there's still slots to be filled. So I think everybody needs to pump the brakes and just wait and see what happens.
Do you think Democrats are putting form over substance?
Absolutely. Look, even if you look at how the Democrats filled the Joe Biden cabinet, they wanted to have a piece of every identity, but did they get the job done? Did they actually serve the interest of the American people? Because here's what I know. Whether you Black or Hispanic, if the border's unsecure, Alejandro Mayorkas, if the border's unsecure, does that help people in their everyday lives? No, it does not. And so what Donald Trump's election is about is bringing competency and reality back to DC in the White House, making sure that the job gets done on behalf of the American people, regardless of their race.
Now, these two did some of the most blatant and obvious and cringeworthy tap dancing that I've ever seen on the television screen. That was real. Now, if you was like you saw some Sambo on the song from back in the day, it was a TV show. It was cringe, but it was a TV show. They were getting paid for it. These guys were getting paid for what they were doing, but ultimately the payoff didn't come. Now, there's a couple of spots that Donald Trump still hasn't chosen for, and with the heat or the attention that these two individuals are receiving because of their noticeable absence, maybe he'll peg one of them maybe the crazy word. Maybe he'll grab one of them and put them in this position to make it look good. But you heard Byron Donalds just say right there, he's okay with that demographic of people saying, no, yeah, we don't think you're qualified. Pretty much anybody of your skin tone in these positions is a DEI hire. DEI did nothing to advance the country. Now, they would be completely wrong in what they say when they say that. But more importantly, Byron Donalds, a black man, picked up the DEI mantle and ran with it. Now, imagine this. Imagine being a black person, explaining to the world why your boss skipped over you at the tune of 25 people for a promotion. Imagine explaining to them why your boss did that and why that's a good move and why you're okay with being skipped over. You're basically saying, I may not even be qualified, cuz. You feel me? I ain't gonna hold you. I'm gonna be 100. I'm probably not qualified. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm not mad that he didn't give me a shot. Imagine being this guy. It's a sad state of affairs we got out here, but you know, my demographic, man, and what we seem to exist on this thing, we just kind of sitting back watching the show. You know what I'm saying? We're warning people to not consider yourself Donald Trump while you're out here in the regular streets of America, because you're liable to get your ass handed to you now. You dig what I'm saying? Unless you can fight or you're prepared to really do some, you dig what I'm saying? If you ain't ready to get down them trenches, cuz I'm telling you, you had better realize that Donald Trump is in Washington or Mar-a-Lago or playing golf or something. He's not walking with you hand in hand, side by side. I don't even know that he cares to, but you should bear in mind that if you want to come out your mouth on that super marvelous Donald Trump shit, somebody liable to hand you half of your gluteus maximus to you as you sit there and look at it. You heard it here first, I'm just telling you. So other than that, man, we're just kind of sitting back watching everything unfold. There's not a lot we can do with the things we're unhappy about. We're just going to make sure that they don't affect us in a way that can be substantially seen. There's sure there's going to be a couple things that are out of our control as far as with this person cutting this out and doing this, that, and the third. But as long as you just trying to maintain your own, man, you know what I'm saying, and keep your head about you, nothing should significant. If you're worth your weight in salt out here, nothing should really change for your overall life, man. But again, don't end up in jail or prison behind one of these people thinking that now that the election went a certain way, that everything they think and feel is validated. I assure you it is not. A lot of that shit you think and feel, you had better keep that shit at home around your cohorts, because you get out here in these regular streets spouting off, talking crazy, it's liable not to go well for you. So that's just like my public service announcement. 20 and all that need to hear it, man. So, you know, it's a hell of a thing, man. It's a hell of a thing. You know, as I spoke on Byron Donalds and all of them, this is a guy that was just replaced in lieu of Pete Hegseth. I don't know if you notice a theme here or not. You dig what I'm saying? But, you know, at any rate, man, I'm just here to report the news to you all as it comes across the airwaves. If you find a coping mechanism to say, hey, I see silver lining in this isn't what it looks like, then more power to you, man. Have a beautiful life. Continue to find ways to tell yourself whatever it takes to make you live better. Just make sure you know that doesn't work for everyone. And so, we're going to see how this thing unfolds, man. But so far, bruh, White House the movie is off to a rocket start, I must say. But as updates come across, and I'm sure there will be more, I will definitely bring them to you all. I'm most likely gonna kind of get back into some of my pop culture content. I don't want to just go straight political with this thing, so I thought it would be fun though to cover it up until this point. And like I say, man, I'll let some new developments come across, and as they're funny and blatant and outrageous enough, I'll bring them to you all. But until then, man, this has been That Way with Jack Travis. I'll get with y'all soon. Loud.